Well, hello, and welcome to
Gank That Drank,
a supernatural drinking game podcast. This is Season 1, Episode 8, Benders and Shadow.
Of course, in every episode of Gank That Drink, we assign ourselves each 2 drinking game rules, and we play along with a couple episodes of the relevant, immersive, and intense television show, Supernatural.
After we watch and play along, we will discuss both episodes while most definitely tipsy, and we will evaluate the rules we played in our quest to curate for you, gentle listener, the perfect Supernatural Season 1 drinking game. I am Chrissy.
And I am Nate.
And tonight we're watching The Benders. Now, this was the Valentine's Day episode. It originally aired February 14th, 2006, so get your sweetheart.
All right.
Put him in a cage.
Grab your boo. Put him in a cage.
3.96 million viewers, so down again from the last one. And then episode 16, Shadow. This is a Kim Manners, Eric Kripke episode. So this is like
Ba-boom.
all the big guns.
Yeah.
February 28th, 4.2 million viewers.
Spoiler alert, guys. We are going to be discussing the episodes in their entirety. So guess what? Yeah, just be ready for it, because you've had 12 years to watch it. Get over
Also,
it.
If you downloaded this and you're like, why do we have to? I feel like saying that is...
Yeah, I mean, you should
it.
already know.
You get it.
It's been out.
You know.
Get to it.
All right, what rules are we playing tonight, Mr. Nate?
I am playing Sam Does Research. Finish your drink as recommended by Buddy TV.
Yeah, but I played that rule. Don't finish your drink.
Don't finish the drink.
Just take a good drink.
Healthy gulp.
Yeah, a gulp.
Yeah.
Perfect. A gulp.
Yes.
I love it. I am playing a rule we haven't played before that we made up during one of our episodes, which is Dean says bitch. Dean says bitch. I'm going to take 2 drinks every time Dean says bitch.
And another rule that was made up during our first episode, was blood splats, 1 drink. So anytime blood goes splat.
Yeah. I'm playing a rule that we actually played in the last episode, which you had to drink 17 times for.
And it sucked.
Someone says, family, take 1 drink. I mean, take 1 sip.
Yeah.
If someone says family.
They say it more than they do in The Godfather.
They do. It's the business.
It's the business.
Of course, we're still both playing the Easter egg rule.
Easter egg rule.
We're going to find one someday.
Sammy.
Playing the Sammy rule. And we're also going to play together tonight, Sam and Dean dig.
Oh, yeah.
Take a drink whenever Sam and Dean dig.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
All right. We're going to go watch Benders and Shadow.
Benders and Shadow.
And we will... Did you think of anything?
No.
Well, then I guess we'll just see you on the other side. And we're back.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. That was a heavy one. All right. We got the Benders. We got Shadow. Are you going to summarize the Benders for us?
I'll do the Benders for us. So, Benders starts out with it starts out with a solid Godzilla reference, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess we get this guy outside, and he gets taken from, I guess, underneath his car. They snatch him up. Like something is underneath his car.
I don't know. That never really made any sense.
But there's this trailer that you see. And the guy, his name is Jenkins, Alvin Jenkins, I believe. And he gets taken, and that's where we enter Sam and Dean, who are impersonating state cops, state troopers.
They're really all about the costumes in these 2 episodes.
Big fur coats as state cops. Big fur coats. The actual legit ones. And so then, while investigating, they're at the bar. And all of a sudden, Sammy gets abducted.
Mm-hmm.
Sam gets abducted.
Like, of all the gigantic men of all the gin joints in all the world, you're going to steal a Winchester?
Yeah.
That's bad research.
Well, we're going to find out. These aren't exactly the researching type of people. Because
Fair.
The next thing I have written down in my notes is just one line that just says, No. Which is what I said when I saw Sam inside the cage, because then I remembered what this episode was. So, yeah, Dean goes to find Sam, but he enlists the help of our lovely local lady cop,
which is the first in a series of many lady cops who will be significant to the series.
Absolutely.
She's like a proto Sheriff Jody Mills who just never got a second call.
And they never report them ever. So she
By
helps...
the way, but she should 1,000% not trust Dean Winchester. She has red flag after red flag after red flag.
Right.
And she makes bad choices.
Yes. Well, she foregoes... At first, she's going to make him do all the paperwork to file a missing persons report for Sam. And then he's like, no, look, we just got to do this. And she's like, okay. But for being someone who seemed like they were like, oh, we got to do it by the book, got to file this missing persons report, she seemed blasé about it. And then later on, when
she knows he's guilty of a crime and
right.
likely a felon, she's cautious, but she's not cautious enough.
Yeah.
Like, this whole show...
She's like, you're going down, but first I'll help your brother.
A big pillar of the premise of this show is women making bad decisions because Sam and Dean are so fucking handsome.
I'm just trusting looking. So
do not do it, ladies.
Don't do it.
Do not do it.
So there's Sammy in the cage with Alvin Jenkins, and Alvin Jenkins is like, hey man, these guys are sick. And it's a fun moment when Sam's like, well, what are they? And he's like, they're just rednecks. And then Sam goes, oh, they're just people. They're the worst. So that's kind of the theme of this episode, is that people, was it demons I get, people are crazy, or...
Yeah, but, like, speaking of people are crazy, like, this fucking Alvin Jenkins guy who's in the cage, like, he's a real negative Nancy. Yeah. Like, he's not trying to help himself in any way. Like, he's just all about, like, don't even try to get out. There's lock. Don't even... Why are you trying to do stuff? Stop trying to do stuff. And it's like, shut up. No, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to run. Oh, thank you for this knife. What? I'm not suspicious. I'm not the most dangerous game. Like, come on.
If that's probably skipping ahead just to lesson learned. If you are ever captured and they let you out randomly, you're part of the most dangerous game.
Mm-hmm. Be suspicious.
Yeah. Just assume you're about to be hunted. If you've suddenly been let out of a cage.
I'm pretty sure that's immediately what my assumption would be.
Yeah. Stay in the cage.
Wake up in a cage, I'm going to be like, ugh, they're going to hunt me. Yeah. Ugh.
So,
Oi, I don't need this stress.
Not today.
I got enough going on.
Can you hunt me on another day, please? I'm free Sundays. Can you hunt me on Sundays?
I've just got it's a lot right now.
So the police officer and Dean, they actually find, they're always looking for the private roads that aren't marked on a map. And the first one they come across is the one they go down, and it just so happens to be the one.
It's the first one.
So, as is the rule in television. So... Dean...
So the rule in comedy is threes. The rule in television is first.
It's the first
one.
Dean gets handcuffed to the cop car because she doesn't trust him, or she says, she pulls the old, let's shake on it, real lame handcuff trick. She goes in, talks to the little girl who's creepy as hell at the house, straight up from Home episode of X-Files.
Which we talked about,
yes,
you remember?
We did, yes.
When we talked about the episode Home.
And she gets knocked out, and then Dean has to finagle his way out of the handcuffs just in time before the two redneck brothers find him. And he does it with the antenna off the police car, and immediately winds up just in the basement where the cages are. Isn't that weird?
It is weird.
That was weird that he went right to the basement.
I mean, there's a lot of outbuildings.
Right to the...
This is an episode of American Pickers where they could look and look and look and still not find Sam and Lady Sheriff.
Man, so he gets to them, doesn't let them out, though. Well, he can't let them out.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the ability to.
Also, there's a lot of sort of plot holes in this episode. Like, he needs the key, goes to find the key, but then he doesn't get the key, but then he lets him out anyway. And then they just get out and, like, come on.
Yeah.
Ugh. Anyway, long story short.
Eventually we end up with a couple dead hillbillies and I guess...
And she lets him go. She's like, you better just go.
Right. You get out of here before the FBI
She
and
gets
everyone else
vengeance
gets
for
here.
her brother or whatever.
So,
And, like, of all the times to be like, look, to do the speech. To be like, look, lady, I know this isn't what it seems. But I guess they couldn't because they weren't monsters.
right.
They should just be
ended
like,
up
look,
being
this is what I
humans.
am. I'm a hunter. And she'd be like, oh, you're like one of them? Okay, fine. I retract my statement. It's just, I mean, it is what it is. I think it's a fun episode.
It's fun. It is fun.
It's a fun episode.
Right. It
It's
puts
not
you
an
kind of like
important
on the edge of your
episode.
seat. I get creeped out by it.
And again, the
There's a
set
jar of
decorating
teeth. Yeah.
is just a dream come true. It just is. They've got like wind chimes made of jawbones and just gross Goodwill chairs everywhere. Like,
Well, there's a lot of fun moments in that.
some
and
intern just gets to have a great time every week on this show.
everything, every wall decoration in that hillbilly house was a weapon or something to cut humans open with.
Yeah, I love it. Like, what a dream to be a set decorating intern in Vancouver. I thought of a new drinking game rule.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime the boys get what is definitely a traumatic head injury
Mm-hmm.
leading to a concussion, finish your
Yeah.
drink.
They're going to have to sit out a couple episodes.
Yeah, and this is also just like, ugh.
It feels like they just wrote, oh, let's do a Deadliest Game episode.
Let's do
and-
one where it's just people. It's
Yeah.
just gross people who live in the world's most disgusting Ren Fest and don't brush their hair and never have a shower and, you know, they're really
Just the
into
Texas
hunting,
Chainsaw Massacre.
but they're not like Jimmy John's level where they can go
Yeah.
hunt elephants. They're just like want to hunt people and not brush their teeth.
And take Polaroids of it.
Yeah, Polaroids never showed up anywhere good.
Mm.
But there was a moment where like the lady sheriff pretends to be hiding in an armoire. And then they shoot the armoire full of bullets. And I was like, no, Chip and Joanna are going to repurpose that. No. Also, there's just a fleeting moment where Dean refers to Baby as the car. What the fuck is that shit?
The car. Yeah, they didn't have it down yet. They didn't have
Boo.
That's why this episode only had 3 point whatever million viewers.
Yeah. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay, and so Shadow was the next episode. So you know, like we said in the very beginning of this episode, when you see the showrunner has written this episode and the big heavy hitter is directing it, you know this is a myth arc episode. And boy, is it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we start this episode with a young woman who is really not looking after her own safety. She's got both her headphones in. She's listening to like tuneless music. And she's walking down the most abandoned alley that has the most crumpled up pieces of newspaper in it. Like, the set decorators killed it on vendors that nobody watched. And then they really dropped the ball on Shadow because they're just like, I need like 70% more paper. And the interns are like, we got all the paper.
Yeah, the interns were
Yay.
like, we just watched American Beauty and we thought this would be
The most beautiful thing that I've ever seen. So there's a shadow monster that's ripping out people's hearts. We do some dot to dots with some masking tape. The boys pretend to be people from an alarm company. Like,
some real
we're from the
liberal-
alarm company, so please let us into this crime scene before you've even cleaned up the blood?
Yeah.
That's not how that works.
Some real liberal connect the dots, though, on that. It's some consolation making. Actually, I mean, we say that about the alarm company, though, letting them in. Didn't, in Fargo, doesn't Martin Freeman's character keep his house bloody for just months and months afterwards?
I don't know. But, like, also this woman has an alarm. So if she is conscious enough of her safety to have an alarm, that same person, it's like an improv we ask ourselves all the time. Like, if this is true, what else is true? So this is a person who is safety conscious enough to have an alarm in her shitty apartment that did not come standard with an alarm. This is not a person who would walk down an alley with both of her earphones in.
No.
This is a lady who walks with her keys in her hand, with her pepper spray in her hand, with her phone in her hand, with one earphone in, constantly looking around, letting people know that she is going to stay sexy and not get murdered.
Yeah. Well, and at the beginning, the very
she also doesn't
beginning-
know how a fucking coat rack works.
At the very beginning, though, she is walking down a street.
Mm-hmm.
And then after she bumps into a random guy, which I don't think ever came back, then she turns down to the alley.
Yeah.
That's why I don't... Why?
But she throws her coat over the top.
The top of it. So then it's all those different prongs.
So then we're given permission to hate her. And
Right. Then we're okay with her
That's not how it
dying because she's terrible at using household objects.
yeah. So the boys are then in costume and they pretend to be from the alarm company. Anyway, this is a myth arc episode. We bump into Meg again. Remember Meg?
Oh, Meg.
Meg, the demon who scries in the face bowl with blood.
But we didn't know that.
Demons, they're all back again. And Sammy, so they have this little moment where he's like, Dean, you're thinking with your downstairs brain too much. And then Sammy's really thinking with his upstairs brain because he's like, what are the odds that I bumped into this girl randomly in California and yet here she is again in Chicago? Like, this bitch is up to something.
Well, he bumped into her in, like, Indiana or something.
That
At the
was
bus stop.
California.
She was going to California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which is, Indiana and Chicago are very close to each other. So in reality, he shouldn't have been that suspicious about it. But she was, because, yeah, he says, I thought you were going out to California, because later in the episode he talks about it, or not later in the episode, but after she kind of rips into Dean at the bar, he says, oh, it was when we had that fight and I was at the train station in Indiana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was California.
I was awake for that part.
Anyway, she's the demon, and she's trying to trick him, and she's in control of the shadow monsters, and the whole thing is just a ruse to get Dad on the scene, because she's like, everyone knows that John Winter went... Doop-a-doop-a-doo. I'm not throwing away my shot. Everyone knows that John Winchester... I can't do it. Everyone knows that Dad has one weakness, and it's you boys. And it's like, really? Not fucking so far. We're 16 episodes into this shit, and it pretty much seems like he does not care.
Yeah. His weakness is emotional availability.
So, but he shows up anyway, like, right in the nick of time for them to, like, hug and have man tears. And then at the end of the episode, they throw Meg out a window. She doesn't die. They use flares to kill the shadow demons, which makes not a lick of goddamn sense. Eric Kripke. Look that over. Get some interns in there to punch up that script because it doesn't make any goddamn sense. And then they're like, oh no, Dad has to go. We can't stay together. We're too much of a target. What?
None of it made sense.
None of it made any sense. And Sam's really upset, and Sam's like, look, we kill this thing. I'm going back to school. Like, I gotta live my best life.
Yeah.
Oprah said so. Don't you want anything for yourself, Dean? And he's like, yeah, I just want us all to be together. I want us all to be together, save people, hunt things, hang out with Negan, hug, occasional. And Sammy's like, no, thank you.
Yeah. Sammy wants... It's so funny how they start out like that, and then how they always kind of are shifting opinions as the show goes on. To remind yourself this is how it starts. Cause
yeah, but the point is they're never going to talk about anything.
No, never. They're two alpha males written in the year 2006, 7.
Anyway.
6.
I mean, obviously you have to watch... I think you gotta watch the Benders because it's just a fun episode.
It is fun.
You could skip it. You could skip it and not lose anything.
Yeah. But it's fun.
But you should watch it because it's fun.
Watch it.
Shadow. I mean, I guess you have to watch it because it's part of the myth arc.
When you get
but
Dad,
also, like,
meet Dad for the first time.
Meet
John, kind of.
I'd rather watch the Benders than Shadow.
Yeah, it's more entertaining.
Okay, so we did some drinking.
Yeah.
Sam does research. Happened twice.
Yeah, twice. I thought it was 3 times.
I think it might be 3
but
times.
Dean did research one time.
Dean did his fair share of the research. Like, that's all going to change. That's not a permanent situation. Sam and Dean did not dig at all. Dean said bitch 5 times. Other people said bitch at least another 5 times. But Dean said bitch 5 times. Blood splats 5 times. And I think we missed some.
We definitely probably missed some.
Or we, like, counted things as 1 that should have maybe been, like, 20.
I was just, like, constantly drinking throughout the whole thing, so
Yeah.
I think I made up for it.
And then people said family at least 5 times. So,
Those are solid.
I mean, it
was
was
a solid day.
Okay, what were your lessons learned?
Lesson learned: if you get let out of the cage, stay in it.
I don't think that's... I mean, I get what you were trying to say, but I don't...
leave the cage if it opens randomly.
No, but I don't think that should be the message.
No.
I think it's going to be like, how do I not be the deadliest game? I think it's don't be a negative Nancy when you're trapped in a cage. Like, stay optimistic. Do something to protect yourself.
Get that bracket, because that's what saved him.
Or something. Like, what can you do? What have you got? What can you do? Like, in the cage of life that aren't we all trapped in? What do you have?
Before you eat me, before you hunt me, would you like to see a quick game of Party Quirks, real quick? I can do a couple improv games for you.
Are you saying we can do improv games to get ourselves out of a murder situation? Yeah, I think so.
We could totally. What is it in Three Amigos? They do that.
Oh, it's so funny you mentioned that because I'm currently in the middle of watching Three Amigos for my other podcast. But also, I went to see Chris Hardwick recently in a stand-up comedy act, and he was like, "What's your job?" And then his whole bit was like, "Well, after the zombie apocalypse, like you'll be useless." And I was like, "No, people will want my improv.
Mm-hmm.
I can entertain you, and all I need is words, not food."
Yeah, we don't need props.
I don't need nothing.
We don't need nothing. Pantomime it.
Yeah. But yeah, don't give up.
Yeah.
Don't fucking give up.
Don't give up. That's a good lesson. I don't have a lesson for Shadow. There's nothing. Just
hug and talk.
Hug more.
Hug. What is it like in Hamilton? Talk less, smile more. It's like hug more, talk more, everything more. Brood less. Express your true feelings more. Although Sam really did. He was like, "Hey man, here's where I'm at. Like, I just want to be full disclosure. Here's where I'm at. Like, emotionally, I need to move on." And I
preferred the Sam and Dad conversation where they were just like, "It's been a long time."
Long time.
Yup.
Long time.
Okay.
Last time we talked, we had a real big fight. We did.
Good talk.
Good talk. Nothing resolved? No? Okay.
All right, good.
Man hug.
That's how my family operates.
Man hug. Man tears. We're done now.
We skip those last 2 steps. We just do the... Okay, it's been a long time. Cool. Yeah. I don't know. These ones were... I like Benders. Watch it.
Yeah.
Don't watch the other one. You can just read about Meg and John.
Yeah, because I know what's coming is more important.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you could skip Shadow.
Because you know what?
And you know which episode I thought Shadow was? I thought it was one of the thing that sucks the life out of the kids, which is still coming. It's still coming.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what's happening next. I don't know, man. I feel like really just sort of skated over these 2 episodes. There's a lot to talk about. We're so tired. We've both really been having a rough go of things lately.
Yeah. Hey,
we're still here.
Yep. Still standing.
Okay. So we're in our next episode of Gank That Drank. Finally, we will be watching Hell House.
Hell House, yeah.
Ghost Facers. Do you remember Hell House?
Oh, yeah. Ghost Facers.
Fucking Ghost Facers.
I love Ghost Facers.
And Something Wicked. And we'll be playing along with all new drinking game rules, which really is not true. We'll be playing the same drinking rules again.
But do you have a suggestion for drinking game rules?
We need them. Now's the time.
We need them. Send them to us, please. Maybe a suggested cocktail even.
We need them.
We always need those. Sometimes they just wander the aisles of liquor stores, just
I'm not good at
staring
it.
at things.
I'll tell you my secret weapon. I go to Target and I go in the wine aisle and I look for something that has a funny name. Like, help us out. So I know some of you people out there are good at coming up with theme cocktails. Help me out. Help me out. We need you.
Exactly. And did you play along and want to let us know how it went? Please comment on the blog at mostexcellentpod.com or join and comment on our Most Excellent Facebook group.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
Just search Most Excellent Podcast.
You could comment on the blog and join the Facebook group.
You should do both.
It's not an or situation.
No, it's not.
It's an and or situation.
It's a yes and situation.
Always yes and.
And always you can find out more on mostexcellentpod.com. Or if you're in the Phoenix area, you can check out Chrissy and Nate at the National Comedy Theater, which is nctphoenix.com.
Just remember your lessons learned, everyone.
Which word do you remember?
Don't ever give up. I think that's what we've landed on.
Never give up.
Don't
and
ever
just
give up.
Fucking hug it out.
Hug it out. Like
Hug
a
it
couple
out,
of
talk it out.
massive, just burly men. Just huge burly men hugging it out.
I don't know. We left a lot on the table this time.
We did. What else are we gonna? There was nothing else.
No, there was so much more.
Was there so much more?
I just can't. Like, my brain isn't working.
What? It's not fun to talk about rednecks who just want to hunt people for fun.
Not in today's America.
I don't even think they eat them.
Well, yeah, I mean, they
weren't
definitely
cannibals. It wasn't like the Wrong Turn movies.
Wait, you're saying you don't think they were cannibals? No, they definitely were.
They definitely were cannibals?
100%.
They seem to get offended when he said that they eat people. Right?
What the fuck do they think they're doing with the bodies?
Man, maybe I don't know.
No, they're eating them,
I mean, they had lots of cars out back. Maybe they put them all in the trunks of the cars.
No, they're eating them.
They're eating. They said that was an interesting thing about these. They're quirky rednecks. They take the cars of all their victims.
What? No, that's to obscure the evidence.
They're quirky.
Also, that's exactly what they do in Wrong Turn.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Look, we've been drinking. Everything's fine.
Once Wrong Turn got brought up, we should have stopped. Should just stop there.
You guys, we're doing our best. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sticking with us. We're really trying. Remember when you're out there saving people and hunting things. ... The family business. Keep the Most Excellent podcast motto in line. Be excellent to each other and party on, dudes.
Wrong Turn 4 is definitely the best of the Wrong Turn movies.
No.